Should you buy this model of the Kolink power supply? This is the classic power. This is one of the cheaper models of the Kolink power supplies. This is rated up 500 watts, 450 watts continuous, and it can do 444 watts on the 12 volt rail. Today we're going to check the voltage regulation of the power supply that goes to different parts of the computer. This one here, this is the EPS 12 volt. This goes to the CPU. Goes to this connector here. It provides 12 volt power to your processor here. This is the 24 pin. It goes to this connector here. It provides 12 volt power to the motherboard, 5 volt and 3.3 volt and negative 12 volt. It's also provide up to 75 watts to your pci-e graphics card here, up to 75 watts. So we'll be able to see if the different voltages that go to the separate parts of the computer is within regulation. We also have here, this is the 8-pin PCI Express graphics card. It goes to the discrete graphics card to provide 12 volts power. It connects to this connector here to your graphics card. This is the 6-pin model, 6-pin version. So this can be used for 8-pin or 6-pin. These two extra pin here can be separated. This is the EPS connector here, 12 volt for the CPU. So we're going to connect this to this DC electronic load here. So we'll be able to monitor the voltage regulation of the voltage going to the CPU. This will be simulated by this electronic load here. And this 24 pin is going to this connector here. This provides 12 volt, 5 volt, negative 12 volt and 3.3 volt. So we'll be able to see the voltage reading of on this for this electronic load here. And this is the PCIe connector. It's going to this connector here to this big electronic load. So we will also be able to see the voltage regulation of the output of the power supply here. Without any load, this is the power draw of the power supply, less than 1 watt without any load. So let's turn this on. Okay, so this is the voltage reading without any load. So this is the EPS connector. This simulates the CPU or the processor. This is the 12 volt that goes to the motherboard, which provide up to 75 watts to or more to the PCIe graphics card. This is the 5 volt, 3.3 volt, and this is the 5 volt standby. This is called the 5 volt standby because if the power supply is turned off but it's plugged in the wall, this still powers the motherboard. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. When I turn this off, all of this voltage, output voltage here will go off, but the 5 volt standby will still remain. So it's off now. The different voltages here has already turned off, but the standby is still on. This provides power to the motherboard and the USB. So I already set the current load here. On this electronic load I've set 17 amperes. Okay, let's turn this on. On. I'm also going to turn this on. I'm going to turn on the power supply. So this is the voltage reading or the voltage regulation that goes to the processor. It's 11.855, so it's well within the 5% voltage regulation. This is the voltage that goes to the PCI Express graphics card via the motherboard. 5 volt is within voltage regulation, 3.3 is okay, and the 5 volt standby is also okay, and the voltage that goes to the discrete graphics card is also well within regulation. It's 11.93, so that's around within 1%. The voltage that goes to the processor is also around within 2%. The one that goes to the graphics card via the motherboard, it's around 3%, and the 5 volts is also around 2%. So all of the voltages that goes to the different parts of the computer is well within the voltage regulation. So this power supply is pretty good for the price. Can even be used for gaming PC as long as you don't overclock.